Everyone, this is Nikachu, Merfolk Master, and we're going to look at my first impression of Merfolk Trickster. This is going to be my first league playing with the card. This is the deck I'm going to play. It's not going to be the Chalice version. I want to see what is the difference between Chalice of the Void and Spell Pierce. Chalice of the Void, very strong, high-impact card, but only hits about 40% of the important decks in the metagame, whereas Spell Pierce basically hits everything except maybe humans. So I just want to try this thing out. This is not the best thing to do when you try out new cards like Merfolk Trickster. I'm just saying that up front. If you want to playtest something, you should really just be playtesting with that one card. It's possible that my deck might win or lose for the reason for playing Spell Pierce and not Chalice, or even to be playing either of these cards and not Curse Catcher. So there's no telling if I don't know what to take from my results, but I really do want to start playing with Spell Pierce as well. I originally wanted to play with 3 Harbinger and 3 Merfolk Trickster, but do you know what? We're playtesting this card. Let's play with the full 4. I took out 1 Dismember to make room for Trickster because, this is creature interaction. This is creature interaction. Let's try out Merfolk Trickster. And yeah, that's all I have to say. It's just a slight modification from my last deck, and let's go. We win the die roll. We have a hand. We're going to keep it. Don't know. We're up against Tron, Sanctum of Ugin, Terrarian. So this is actually the, what's it called deck? The deck that Matt Nass won with. Correct? I forget the name. Can't think of it at the moment. Makes a lot of mana. That Dismember is going to be pretty poor in this matchup, so we will probably play. I'm trying to think of the fastest clock. Lord of Atlantis can create a fast clock, but we have nothing really to back it up, so I guess we're just going to play Silver Gill-Adept. Silver Gill-Adept will give us our best chance of curving out with Mirror Jury and Master of Waves. Or even just Mirror Jury, Lord of Atlantis into more Lord of Atlantises. We don't really have any interaction here right now. We do have the main deck Spell Pierces, which will help a lot in this matchup. So the deck is just full of artifacts. Engineered Explosives on 0. Okay, so they're preparing for my Chalice on 0. Or maybe they just need the Metalcraft. Okay, so when this goes into the graveyard, I draw a card. Chalice of the Void would be useful in this matchup. Crude Wellspring enters the battlefield, draw a card. I believe it also draws a card when it leaves the battlefield. Yeah. Or when it goes to the graveyard, specifically. Okay, Lord of Atlantis is quite good, so we're going to have very likely a turn 4 kill. Sorry, turn 5 kill. A 2, 3. Yeah, we'll have a turn 5 kill. It's a really slow clock against what is this thing called? It's called Kark Clank Ironworks. It's Ironworks combo. That's what we're going to call this. It's Ironworks combo. So Mindstone hits the battlefield. Opponent gets more mana. Spell Pierce would be perfect here. We do not get Spell Pierce. What is the best thing that we could do? Probably just play. How many things do we need? We could play 2 Lords, and we would have only 2 mana untapped at the end of it. It'd be nice to play Spreading Seas on the Sanctum of Ugin. Maybe we can draw a Spell Pierce, which would be absolutely key. depriving them of like 2 mana would be enormous. Also, playing less of our lords on the battlefield will play around in engineered explosives for 2. They would need more mana, but they could do that with Mox Opal. Just tap mana with Mox Opal, sack it, play another Mox Opal, sack it, the old one, add another mana, play engineered explosives for 2, and then with Mind Stone and Sanctum of Ugin, crack it. So we could play just 1 Lord and attack for 7. And we have lethal next turn anyway. I can't remember if this deck gains much life or any life. You know what, maybe let's just do that. I'm not going to commit too much stuff to the board. Well, okay, on the other hand, let's say they do have engineered explosives anyway. They play it on 2. Then I'm much further away from winning the game after that. Maybe playing Master of Waves is the right thing to do here. Because I could have hit them for 5, put them down to 12, play Master of Waves, and then if they play, for example, Engineered Explosives on 0, then I'm sure I could have just killed my opponent with 2 more Lord of Atlantis next turn. Alright, interesting. So do I really want to play this Spreading Seas? Spreading Seas instead of the Lord of Atlantis, because I could have hit my opponent for 9, they go down to 8. And then let's say they wipe the board with Engineered Explosives. I can cast Master of Waves. They'll put down 6 power. That's something. Oh, we already have an Engineered Explosives on 0, though. So that's not that... So Master of Waves is actually crippled. Alright, so let us just play Spreading Seas. Which actually could be a problem. This helps cast Engineered Explosives on 2. Could be a problem. The tiny interactions against this deck, people. The tiny interactions. The best way to learn how to beat a deck is to lose against it quite a few times. I don't think I played against the Ironworks combo for like over a year, and then even then I only played against like ponies. No insignificant. If this becomes a real deck, then we're in, well, might have to figure out some new strategy. So Ichard Wellspring. Somehow I want to, well, let's see what our opponent does, but in some way I want to say our opponent did something wrong because they are, well, okay, let's see how they play out their turn, but it doesn't feel like they're comboing off. Yeah, and they don't. Like, they got 5 turns to do it. Or 4 turns. And no bueno. So I believe Relic is good. You can... I can't remember how their deck works, but it requires the graveyard. Deprive should be good. Counter something. Oh yeah, the Relic is good because they've got some creature that can retrieve cards from the graveyard. Master Wave's probably not very good here. I don't even think Spreading Seas is good. Echoing Truth might be good. I don't know why it would. Dismember, probably not very good. What would I want Echoing Truth for? I could tempo them out a little bit if they have the same artifact in play, like a bunch of Mind Stones. Other than that, having Tidebinder, just having a body might be helpful. Actually, some Master of Waves might be fine because the deck wins really quickly. On the other hand, they have a bunch of Engineered Explosives, and you don't want to be too vulnerable at the 2 CMC slot. And Master of Waves can at least play around some of that. Okay, let's do that. I have 23 creatures in the deck. I'll bring in 1 Echoing Truth. I don't know what it'd be good for, but I mean, I can bounce something. Sounds fine. Submit deck. But honestly, I don't have like a very good strategy for this matchup right now. because I haven't really paid attention to the list. I'm just getting back into playtesting. Throwing myself out there, your strongest is out of date. Well, thank you. Thank you for letting me know. We're on the draw. We do need one more land, but this can cantrip. We'll keep this. And maybe we can buy ourselves a turn with Echoing Truth. When I see Darksteel Citadel, I feel like, oh my god, I'm up against Affinity. Here comes Mox Opal. Here comes the green. Mere Retriever. You're going to retrieve nothing. Thanks. So this is the card that I brought Relic in for. When it dies, return another target artifact from your graveyard to your hand. So this helps cycle, I don't know, stuff. I very loosely know how this deck works. That's what I'm going on at the moment. Just very loose stuff. You want to do something on my upkeep? Otherwise, I would like to take my turn, please. I'd love to draw my card. So we draw an island. This is nice. We can hold up Merfolk Trickster. Do we want? Yeah, we want to hold up Merfolk Trickster. That sounds fine. We might even be able to tap this thing to prevent some sort of, I don't know, returning card from graveyard shenanigans. And then next turn we can play Lord of Atlantis, followed up by holding up Relic. I guess we can just try to kill it. Why not? It's sort of the point. I'm going to trick you. I don't think you get to keep yourself. It's just one less artifact on the battlefield. So Trickster got him. The thing with Trickster, so let's talk a little bit about Trickster. I think our opponents are going to be playing pretty poorly against Trickster for at least 2 months. I don't think we can come to any safe conclusions for quite a while. A lot of people are just going to get blown out by this card because they've never seen or played against it before. So we should not strongly judge Merfolk Trickster until we've allowed our opponents enough time to learn about it and play around it. So Silvergill Adept changes a little bit because I probably want to play this thing. I would love to get to the 4th land drop so I can play Lord of Atlantis and hold up Echoing Truth. So if our opponent like taps out to play Core-Clang Ironworks and then start playing artifacts and sacrificing them, would that work? Well, I would like to respond, at the very least. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to play Silvergill Adept. Try to curve out. We might even draw Spell Pierce. Very good card in this matchup. Opponent has 4 cards and all the mana in the world. Just have no idea what they're on. They might have Engineered Explosives and they can't cast anything. Show Lord of Atlantis. There's Wonderwine Hub, that's good. So we have the opportunity of playing Lord of Atlantis next turn. Attack for 6. There's Mere Retriever. It's Forest. Don't think any of this matters. Another Merfolk Trickster. Show the Lord of Atlantis. We'll play it off of islands. I don't know if it makes a difference in this matchup. Attack for 6. If the mirror blocks and dies, I'll just activate Relic in response. And then next turn, we are not exactly threatening lethal, but we'll see. I might Echoing Truth the Mirror Retriever. And then play Lord of Atlantis and then kill the board. Okay, there's Chromatic Star. I will exile this thing. Beautiful art on Merfolk Trickster. What can I tell you? Beautiful art. Beautiful, beautiful art. So our opponent does nothing. What do you have? Okay, I'll just Echoing Truth the mirror back to hand. I think I'm just gonna try to go for the win. Maybe there's now a safe way of winning this game. Maybe I should just activate the Mutavault. Attack for, was this 8? It's only 11, but we've got Deprive in hand. Do you want? I'm going to. Activating the Mutavault was a mistake. I'm not even going to attack with this thing. I'm going to attack for 8, and I want to hold up the mana for Relic of Progenitus because attacking for 8 and attacking for 11, I don't think is that big of a deal. We deprive them off of like 1 colorless source from Spire of Industry, but it's not that big of a deal. So I think just holding up the Deprive is more than enough to win the game. Deprive and the Relic. I think our opponent is flooding out, though, but I'm not sure. I've not really played against this matchup all that much. But feels like they're playing a lot of lands, not playing a lot of high-impact spells. No, what's it called? There's a lot of things I'm not seeing here. Fire Spout. It technically doesn't matter. But I guess we're going to counter it anyway. Because, like, even if it resolves, we can just flash in Merfolk Trickster at end of turn and attack with the Mutavault and Trickster. Well, to be yeah, like flash in Merfolk Trickster tapping the Mirror Retrievers. Yeah, so our opponent just had a really bad hand. I'm assuming they had a really bad hand. Like maybe they were supposed to mulligan all that. I can't tell if their hand was bad or they played bad. It's the first time I was up against Ironworks. Claw, Clank, Ironworks. Moving on to our next match. Was Merfolk Trickster good? Yeah. We got our opponent. They got greedy for 1 damage. This hand... I don't think this hand is very good. If it had 1 more creature, it would be fine. But it does not have 1 more creature. Yeah, I'm going to mulligan. Spell Pierce is just very good against a lot of decks. But I don't really have any pressure to back it up. But 1 Lord would make a big difference. So I would say I have about 3 turns to get that Lord. Let's keep this. See what happens. Let's just hope our opponent doesn't play like turn 1 Thoughtseize or Inquisition. So what is this? Sunken Hollow. What deck plays this? Our hand is shaping up now. We got a Silvergill Adept online. Sunken Hollow. Ad Nauseam? I don't get it. This has to be a budget deck. I'm in a competitive league, by the way. Okay, so this looks like Ad Nauseam. Bound to Understand the Sunken Hollow. They put a card on top. So Spell Pierce will be... It'll be okay. Oh, and we're just getting more lords. This is great. I'm going to start holding up the Spell Pierces, though. Against Ad Nauseam, you just want to burn these on whatever you can. But still, not sure if this is Ad Nauseam. This could just be an Esper control deck that I don't know about. More Spell Pierces. I'm going to treat this like it's Ad Nauseam. And I'm going to play Silvergill Adept right now. Is this Cleek? Ooh, Nimble Obstructionist. Okay, so this is not what I think it is. That's fine. I'm just going to pass. I don't know what I'm up against, but, you know, if there's some sort of blue control deck with Jace or Gideon, then I'm going to want to keep holding up these Spell Pierces. But the idea was to play Silvergill Adept, and if I drew an island, I would just hardcast a Lord of Atlantis. So now they might be suspicious because I don't hardcast the Silvergill Adept, unless they now start thinking that, oh, well, I don't have any lands. So I don't have any other creatures in my hand. Now that they have Nimble Obstructionist, I'm definitely not going to be main phasing any of these Vile activations. Let's do everything at the end of my opponent's turn. Spell Pierce running out of targets, though. Our opponent keeps drawing more mana. The later this game goes, the worse the Spell Pierce is going to get. Okay, so that's going to get countered. Make some use out of these Spell Pierces while we can. So it's just looking more and more like Esper control. Oh, our opponent has 57 cards in their deck right now. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you have 200 or more cards in your library, you win the game. Well, do you know what? I'm happy to have Spell Pierce today. Oh, are we happy to have Spell Pierce? This is hilarious. Spell Pierce is a win here. This would be a very embarrassing match to lose. Alright, let's put the pedal to the metal. We need power, people. We need power to get the power on the board. Let's put Harbinger, I guess, in play. We'll put a bunch of lords in play. She can attack for 8. Well, what puts the least? I can attack for 6. They go down to 14. I don't want to run into Supreme Verdict, but the odds of them having in their hand, not good. Very not good. Terrible. So I attack for 6. They go down to 14. I can Violin Merfolk Trickster. And I think that's enough. Or I can actually hardcast Merfolk Trickster. That's fine. If I need to. Merfolk Trickster, showing its potential. We're going to go for it again? Okay, Day of Judgment. Counter you. Whose day is getting judged? Whose day? Of course, it's a lot easier to brag after the spell has been countered. So we're going to tick up one of these vials up to 3. Yeah, okay. True story. So I've got only 8 power in play. We bought another turn. This will be 4, 8, 11. Not enough. Okay, not enough. Not enough is not enough. It's not enough, right? I put in Lord of Atlantis, 8, 11. Not enough. Although I could deprive my opponent of fetches? I don't think it's worth it. Now if they play Battle of the Wits, it doesn't even matter. The guy's like, why do you have so many spell pierces? Why? Okay, there's Wall of Omens. Which we can tap down with Trickster. Not that it's very important. Alright, go on to the next game. That was hilarious. Battle of Wits. Just naturally have it in your hand. Battle of Wits, an enchantment. If we had if we had Curse Catcher instead of Spell Pierce, I think we lose that game. I think we lose it. So what do we want? We want probably... I have no idea what we want. I don't know. We'll take out Dismember. It's probably bad. We'll take out probably Master of Waves. Probably Spreading Seas. We might bring in some Master of Waves after we take out those Spreading Seas. We'll take out... We're going to bring in Deprive. Probably we want Echoing Truth. We can bounce the Battle of Wits for a turn. Save our own creatures. We'll bring in a few. Bring in a few Relic? No, I think we need more Grizzly Bears. We'll bring in Tidebinder Mage. Just anything that can attack is good. They probably have counter spells. Let's bring in Akira. Let's bring in one Master of Waves back. Anything else stupid in this deck? I don't think so. Oh, I can take out a land. Merfolk Joe said in the forums that Frank Karsten came out with an article saying you should probably be setting out a land on the draw. This seems like a pretty good matchup to be doing that. We'll take out a Wanderwine Hub and side in Master Waves, I guess. Yeah, fine with this. I've never played against a Battle of Wits deck, so maybe Dismember is a little bit more valuable than I initially think. I wonder, does a sideboard matter at all in a Battle of Wits deck? Does it? Do you care? What are the odds you're going to draw any of it? Really? How do they, like, tutor for their Battle of Wits? Is Enlightened Tutor legal? I don't think so. But I don't know. It's a silly deck. But the upside when you win with it is so high. Because you'll completely embarrass your opponent. Our hand is not very creature dense, but it's very interactive, so I like it. Start with Manamo. Hopefully we can get an island to get online. The nice thing about this Battle of Wits deck is that it's like, so they kept a 1-lander. That's fine with me. The great thing about the Battle of Wits deck is that they cannot consistently have Supreme Verdict. That's like basically impossible. Too many cards. Too many cards in your deck. Dilute everything. We're up against a pony here. This is Pony Land here. It's Pony City. Teferi. Teferi's pretty good. Mage of Zalafir. This is a bomb. We're probably just going to tick this vial up to 3 and then win the game from there. I don't know what our opponent can do very desperately with 2 mana, so I'm willing to take an attack here. Pull the shields will be down. Spell Pierce shields will be down. Holy cow! I was not expecting that. It doesn't matter. It doesn't like deprive me of playing Deprive or Spell Pierce, but it's certainly surprising. We got in 4 damage. That's on the plus side. We got in 4 damage instead of 2. Still curving into 4 is probably going to work out pretty well for us. And maybe if we're desperate to reactivate this vial, we can like vial in Kira. Sorry, we can Echoing Truth the Aether Vial back to our hand and then recast it. Let's attack for 2. I think at their upkeep, I'm going to activate the vial and put Kira in play. So I think it's at this point that they have to do something. That's right, Path to Exile, not good enough. Yeah, you can let that resolve. I intend on killing you in 2 turns. Maybe our opponent has Supreme Verdict. So what did they do with the... They put on a card on bottom and a card on top. Pass. We just might... Even if they play Supreme Verdict, we might just carry the game out with, like, Master of Waves. Yeah, I think this game is now super over. They need to path the Master of Waves and Ghost Quarter their own land to get, like, I don't know, a black source for Fatal Push. The Master has arrived, that's all I can tell you. The Master of Waves. And we have a Trickster. Beautiful. 5 tokens. Yeah, so Snapcaster or Mage won't do it. Yeah, I'm gonna Spell Pierce this. Settle of the Wreckage. Looks pretty poor. Alright, moving on. I don't think Trickster did very much in that matchup. I don't think we needed much for that matchup. Do you know what? Spell Pierce definitely helped us win that match. If we had Curse Catcher instead of Spell Pierce, we would have been in a lot of trouble to that Battle of Wits when they played Battle of Wits. Ugh, that didn't look good. And I think actually it overperformed. When they played Day of Judgment, they had 1 mana up. Well, maybe we would have had several Curse Catchers in play, though. So maybe it's a little hard to tell. So there's 2 factors. Those Spell Pierces, if they were Curse Catchers, we would have had a much faster clock, and we would have had 3 of these Curse Catchers. But then they would play around them if they saw them. They'd be more... They would have attacked our Curse Catchers. It's hard to tell, but Spell Pierce definitely helped. Whoa, this hand's awful. Yeah, we'll mulligan. Yeah, this is fine. No, we need a second blue source. We have a Silver Gill Adept, though. Yeah, we really need that blue source. We'll put it on the bottom. But it's like a really good card. Oh, perfect. Perfect. We have Dismember. And we got this thing anyway. We put it on the bottom, right? Keeps hand, puts a card on the bottom of the library. The bug, the MTG bug people. It will show Silvergill Adapt, and we will dismember the Birds of Paradise. On the draw, pretty often you want to be dismembering the Mana Dork. You don't want them to get too far ahead, no matter what deck they're playing. I'm going to play the Wonderwine Hub first, because there's some chance we're going to play Merfolk Trickster on our turn 2. Oh, here comes... Well, it didn't help. I tried. Ether Vial is a bit awkward here. If I could be guaranteed a land next turn, I sort of want to play Silvergill Adapt, but if we keep playing... If we keep drawing creatures, then Ether Vial will be better. So I think this is a bit slow, but I'm going to play Ether Vial. If our opponent has an explosive hand with Collected Company, I don't think there's anything we can do about that. There's just nothing we can do about that. Just going to have to let them do whatever they want to do. Duskwatch Recruiter, they can activate. They are going to activate. What do you find? Swing and a miss? Please miss. Vizier of Remedies. Wow, that's not good. Cast for Silvergill Adapt. We'll show Mass of the Pearl Trident. And pass. So this is a matchup where I'm pretty happy that I have Dismembers in my deck. And maybe slightly happy that I have the Spell Pierces as well. They usually do have a lot of mana to work with, though. Merfolk Trickster, what are you going to do in this matchup? I can tap the Duskwatch Recruiter. I can tap Vizier of Remedies when you cast the Heritage Druid. But I think they want to have the Heritage Druid out first, if anything. Noble Hierarch is found. That's great. That thing's a donut. Okay, Vizier of Remedies is played. I gotta count in case they have Noble in hand. Gotta start recording these things down. I think the best thing to do is just go aggressive. And then maybe tick the vial up to 3 so I can play Mare Rejury. That's interesting. If they do that, I'm going to vial in the Lord so that we win in combat and put a lot more pressure on our opponent to try to combo off. Still going to vial. I'm still going to tick up the vial to 3. Aha! Eternal Witness. Aha. Okay. Gonna get back that Verdant Catacombs. It's not what I thought you'd get back. But I guess you just want to keep digging with Duskwatch Recruiter. So if they tap out here, I think they're just going to lose because we're going to check. Oh, they're going to get. Oh, they have another Vizier of Remedies in hand. So they have a lot of blockers. So I'm going to tick up to 3. We have Spell Pierce. It is good. We have 2 cards left. Okay, I can tap down 2 creatures. Let's say I tap down Noble Hierarch and Eternal Witness. Do I force my opponent to chump block? So I'll be attacking for... I force at least... Yeah, they have to chump block. They have to chump block. But then I can't leave up mana for Spell Pierce. I don't know if that's important. Because if I just attack with everything, they can gang. I think they can try. They can attempt to gang block a creature. Certainly don't want to lose a Lord. I don't know how important that is though. So if I play Merfolk Trickster, I can tap the Noble Hierarch, tap Eternal Witness, attack with everything, and they have to block 2 creatures, and those are important creatures. So Merfolk Trickster doing something here. So we'll tap Noble Hierarch. We'll tap the useless creatures. And we'll tap Eternal Witness. We're going to see a chump on 2 of these. And they'll go down to 2. And then I think they're just in super chump block mode after that. They're going to chump Duskwatch Recruiter and Vizier of Rent. Well, you can't block these things. Okay, you can block those things. Sorry, you can go to 1, but I mean you're still losing everything. Yeah. Okay, you block the biggest things. Go down to 2. I have 6 creatures. You need to put 2 at least in play. You're just so far behind here. Yeah. Okay, so we win. In this matchup, Relic is fine. It's better if you know that they're on the Finks combo plan, which often they are. Okay, we definitely want Tidebinder Mage. Master Wave's not that good. It's very expensive and clunky. This is a matchup. I'm not sure if they're going to have Choke or not, but on the draw, I'm going to take out an Island because they are a Path to Exile deck. I think I'm going to leave Spell Pierce. I have quite a bit of interaction between a Dismember and Tidebinder Mage, although I could take out 1. Looks like I have to still bring in some cards. I could bring in Echoing Truth. Or I could bring in 2 Relics and an Echoing Truth. Cura doesn't do anything. Deprives is a bit clunky. I don't really like... I know it's a hard counter, but I don't like 2 mana interaction against this deck. It's very hard to get to. They can be very fast and explosive. We have to work with very little mana. I'm gonna take out an Island because this could be a matchup where they bring in Choke, and I want to keep as many non-basics as possible. And submit. So again, Trickster actually did help in that matchup. That was something that Harbinger would not have done, to like put full pressure. This hand is very good. Turn 1, blow up your mana dork. Turn 2, tap another mana dork. Keep you off mana. Like, in general, my plan against Counters Company is to keep them off as much mana as possible to prevent them from playing Collected. Oh, we have another one. Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm just sorry. So you want to keep them off as much mana as possible so that they can't Collected Company or Court of Calling into the combo. You can't naturally get into the combo so well. It's not that easy. And here, they're just playing right into our hands. Right into our hands, people. So here's Tidebinder Mage. Because, like, yeah, it's not easy to combo. Drawing your combo naturally is very hard, is all I'm saying. It's very, very, very hard. I think I'm definitely dismembering the Devoted Druid. It's just a matter, do I want to play Spreading Seas afterwards or Lord of Atlantis? I think I'm going to play Lord of Atlantis. Actually, none of this matters. I guess we just play Lord of Atlantis now. So they're sort of mana screwed. If we, what's important on black? White might be slightly important. Well, white can cast Vizier. White can also cast, I don't know what else white can cast. So we're first going to leave our opponent the opportunity to make a mistake by blocking Tidebinder Mage. Always give your opponent the opportunity to make a mistake. You know, I know we can dismember that thing, and I know, like, very, very often they're not going to block. Some people might say, well, if they block, then that's good for them. Well, they don't know it's in our hand. They don't know that that block probably is really bad for them. Here's me torching my life total like it's no business. I think that's going to be it for our opponent. So we play Lord of Atlantis, attack for 7. We have lethal next turn. I'm in. And that's my, uh-oh. Still think our opponent is in a lot of trouble. That's interesting, because I could have bounced that Birds of Paradise otherwise. Okay, now let's see what happens. Get down to 12. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I can only attack for 10 next turn. I can play Spreading Seas, which means even if they collected company, it doesn't even matter. There's Duskwatch Recruiter. For some reason, I thought this was 3 mana. It's only 2. All right. Spell Pierce is great. I think Spell Pierce just seals the deal in this game. We'll Spreading Seas the white source. I'm just going to attack for 6, and then we'll threaten lethal. Do you know what would have even been better? I should have just attacked. They would have tapped Birds of Paradise to play Path to Exile. Well, I guess I still have this line. No, I don't have the line to Harbinger this turn. I can play this right, so I can actually attack with the Mutavault too. But the point is, I let my opponent play Path to Exile, and then I Harbinger the Birds of Paradise back to their hand. That would have been more accurate. That would have been a cool line. But instead, now I'm going to have to burn the Spell Pierce on this thing. Pretty sure that if our opponent plays Collected Company, it doesn't even matter. They'd have to Collected Company until, like, I don't know, Reclamation Sage or something. And they also can't, like, they can't draw a Shock Land. That would kill them. They're at 2 life. And we win. This is a pretty model example how to beat Counters Company. You have to attack the Mana Dorks. You have to attack the Mana Dorks. And in this case, it would have been better Spell Pierce the Path to Exile. Don't play Spreading Seas. Our opponent probably takes 6 damage from Lord of Atlantis. And then we play Harbinger of the Tides, bounce the Birds of Paradise, and then they would have been wiped out. There were no outs. No chance. No chance they come back from that. It's impossible. All right, so that's our 3rd victory. Trickster definitely helped in game 1. Spell Pierce backed up by a ton of removal a ton of removal and creature interaction is also good. Tidebinder Mage and All-Star in that matchup. We made it look easy. We made it look easy. So far, deck is performing well, but you know what? It's a Sunday. It's a weekend. How many people? We got 537 active players. Actually, it's not a lot of active players. I think a lot of people their attention is drawn away from Modern. They're playing Brawl. So, but so far it doesn't look like I've been punished at all to take out the Curse Catchers for the Spell Pierces. Essentially, that's the switch. Curse Catcher for Spell Pierce. I think there's only one matchup where Spell Pierce is going to look pretty bad, and it's probably just humans. We won the die roll, hooray. There's Trickster. It's nice to keep drawing the card that you're playtesting. It helps a lot. Our opponent mulliganed. I'm not sure what I want to play. If the thing is, if I draw an island, I'll probably play Harbinger of the Tides, or Trickster. Yeah, I guess we could play for Trickster. That's important. Play the island first, but because most of the time I'm probably going to want to. Play, or most of the time I'm sure I'm going to want to attack with Mutavault. Here comes Noble Hierarch, so that's definitely something I would tap at upkeep. So our opponent says, wow, haven't seen this deck in months, now twice in a row, and we didn't even play anything until they said that. So we got the island. Excellent. And pass, I guess. So we want to upkeep, do something at their upkeep. You have no abilities. You can't do anything. If they just play Noble and pass, we're just going to bounce that Noble with our Harbinger of the Tides for sure. Oh yeah. The mana in humans, it's pretty tight. It's a pretty tight mana base. They have a tight ship. I think we're just going to steamroll our opponent. Tapping that thing down for one turn with Merfolk Trickster, I don't think they can come back from that. That was a big deal. Ooh, there's Champion of the Parish. There's a Noble Hierarch. I'm going to Violin my Lord of Atlantis and tick the Master of Waves up. So I think the Master of Waves is just going to win the game. I don't need to tap anything down, I don't think. This turn. Well, I guess I could have cast Master of Waves, but whatever. This looks convincing to them. So against humans, the only bad card in our main deck is the Spell Pierce. It's useless. We'll bring in Tidebinder Mage, and I think we're just bringing in... we can bring in Kira. It's going to be a tough call between Kira and some Echoing Truths. But how much creature... We have so much creature interaction. Let's just have some Kiras to be able to block, like, I don't know, a Freebooter. Be able to protect our Master Waves from Reflector Mage. I don't know which one's more important. Maybe Echoing Truth is more important. But we have a lot of creature interaction. We can bring in... Okay, we're going to go back to the plan of siding out lands on the draw. Okay, we'll do it like that. We'll bring in one Echoing Truth. Side out one land on the draw. It's a tempo matchup. But it can go long. Yeah, okay. This hand sucks. We'll mulligan. Sounds better. We'll keep that on top. It's funny. Okay, so this guy says, wow, haven't seen this deck in months, now twice in a row. Sort of implies, well, maybe it's not showing many numbers in the competitive leagues. Well, we got to up those numbers, people. We have to up those numbers. Ether Vial's too important. I would really love to blow up that Noble Hierarch. But if I didn't have Ether Vial, I would have dismembered that thing on the spot. What we got? Command Strider? Okay. We're going to take a little bit of damage. 8 to be precise. We're going to get hit for 4, and then we're just going to get hit one more time. So we're going to get hit with our own Dismember. We'll just pass. It's very important against humans to know that they don't have any like instant or sorcery speed interaction. Post board they have 1 to 2 Dismembers, but that's about it. It's interesting. No, not playing anything. Before combat. Gaining information. Information acquisition. So if they're playing Horizon Canopy like that, their hand is terrible. Wow. Oh, their hand is really bad. Their hand is terrible. They've got probably like a Dismember. They probably have some interaction like Dismember, but like just really bad stuff. So we might see a Dismember here. We don't see Dismember yet. But there's no way as a humans player you like play Horizon Canopy, crack it, then cast Ether Vial and stuff like that. That's just terrible. Okay, we see Reflector Mage. Not a big deal. We're gonna put this thing back in play with the Vial. I'm gonna take it up to 3. Drawing a land would be good. Not a land, not bad though. So what we can do is we can bounce the Reflector Mage. Here's the situation. If I play, and I am going to play Marigiri, and the situation is if I attack and they block with Reflector Mage, they can dismember the Marigiri and then eat my Lord of Atlantis. So I have to like tap one of these things down or bounce it. I don't mind bouncing Reflector Mage because either they're going to hard cast it next turn, which is not bad, I don't care. Or maybe I do care. Maybe I just play Harbinger and tap the Reflector Mage for a turn. Yeah, let's do that. I don't actually need to bounce you. Let's play second Ether Vial and pass. Our opponent's not doing very well. But their Ether Vial is online, so maybe now they can start doing some crazy shenanigans. They have a lot of cards in hand. We have a lot of not cards in hand. Or maybe they had a bunch of Thalia's Lieutenant-like effects. That's possible. And they didn't want to play them until they got some beef on the board. Holy cow, our opponent is aggressive! Look at this aggressive attack. Hmm. I'm trying to think what our opponent can play for 2 mana. Thalia. Thalia's Lieutenant. If I tap down this Thalia's Lieutenant, or even if I just tap down Noble Hierarch, I don't think there's any way that they can play. I don't think they can kill anything. There'll be 4/4s, and they're not representing Dismember anymore. At least it doesn't look like it. So I'll tap down Noble Hierarch. Oh, it doesn't work like that. No, I should have tapped down the Thalia's Lieutenant. Well, we'll see what happens. Because now if they play a second Thalia's Lieutenant, this Thalia's Lieutenant will become a 3/3 creature. I think I'm going to attack with everything anyway. And even Meddling Mage can eat up something here. So I should have chumped I should have tapped down the Thalia's Lieutenant. I think, oh, it looks like our opponent's going to take it all. They're saying, like, this is my only chance of winning. Well, they can't play Dismember anymore, so that's good news. They can still play Reflector Mage at instant speed with Aether Vial. That's bad news. So you're going to play Thalia's Lieutenant. Ooh, Phantasmal Image. Copy Lord of Atlantis? No, Reflector Mage. Okay, I'll just let all this resolve. I don't want to play Master of Waves main phase, just in case our opponent will like main phase Phantasmal Image or Reflector Mage, depending on the circumstances of their draw and where their Aether Vial is. So if they leave it on 2 and they draw a Reflector Mage, then they're drawing 3. So this is 4. It's exactly 8. Okay. Maybe they had Reflector Mages the entire time, but we had a bit of a presence on the board. This is 8. All right, let's try to get Master of Waves in play. Hopefully this is good enough. And it's good enough. All right, we win the match. All right, awesome. Merfolk Trickster showed its worth in Game 1. We didn't see it in Game 2. This deck is sick. Look at this. 2-0, 2-0, 2-0, 2-0. Make it look easy. Don't I make it look easy, everyone? We just make it look easy. The Master arrived. It was easy peasy. Sometimes you have to be careful about your Lord of Atlantis. I guess this is a little thing, but if you have the choice between Master of the Pearl Trident and Lord of Atlantis, play your Master of the Pearl Trident first. And the reason you want to do that is because you don't know if you're going to hold... There could come some point in the game very quickly where your opponent will just play Phantasmal Image, copy your Lord of Atlantis, and start beating you with Island Walk. I would never hold back Lord of Atlantis if I could play it, but I'm just saying, if you have the option, keep Lord of Atlantis off the board, puts another Lord in play. Put the Master of the Pearl Trident in play. Or maybe configure your plays so that you don't have Lord of Atlantis coming out. And you also have to consider, because the thing is, with Phantasmal Image in their deck, they have access to all of our creatures. They have access to Master of Waves. Master of Waves could kill us. We won the die roll. We're running good on the die rolls. We're gonna mulligan though. Sounds good. This hand is not good, but I don't want to mulligan it. Oh, that is a great draw though. But still, we have just a bunch of piddly crap. The embarrassing thing is we have to show them one of these cards. I'll show them the Harbinger of the Tides. I think that's the more important one to show. Or should I mean, that's the one they will think they can play around, but they can't. Oh, here's Affinity. All right, so let's see the power of Merfolk Trickster. Here they come. Springleaf Drum. Oh, yeah. Okay. Slow down there, fella. Slow down there. So it's not that bad. Cranial plating is bad. Silver Gill Adept, and then we'll cast this and show them. Or Silver Gill Adept's not that bad, but like to beat Affinity, you need a decent clock. You're gonna want to have Lords. You can't really win with these stupid, dinky little Silver Gill Adepts. If they attack with the Memnite, I'm just going to block it. In order to save the Memnite, they have to sacrifice Ravager and maybe an artifact to put on the Memnite, and then we just get them with Harbinger of the Tides. So I don't see anything wrong with blocking the Memnite here. Keeping artifacts off the battlefield makes the Ravager weaker. And I don't really see how we're... ooh, that's not bad. Let's Spreading Seas. You can activate it and sack it, but whatever. I might have a little bit of a decision with Trickster, because we can Trickster target the Ravager and then force our opponent to think about what they want to block with. On the other hand, I think we should probably save Merfolk Trickster for a very good situation, like if they play Vault Scourge here. Or even if they played something like Steel Overseer, I would Trickster at end of turn and then try to bounce the Steel Overseer with Harbinger of the Tides. 4 cards in hand, and they're playing nothing. Could be a bunch of Galvanic Blasts. Okay. It's time to get aggressive. Oh, maybe it's just a bunch of Mox Opals. Yeah, that's possible. We're fighting for 5-0 against Affinity. Of all the decks. The hell is this? Okay, I'll take 2. I don't care. This is not that much. I'd rather just play Silver Gill Adept at end of turn and see if we can progress our board. They know we have Harbinger. Ooh, sweet. How badly do we need that in play? So Sort of want to think about this here and not at my upkeep. Because if I do the thinking at my upkeep, maybe it'll show that I have Master of Waves. Whereas if I do it here, maybe I'm doing something else. Maybe I'm going to get a cup of coffee. So I can Vial in Harbinger. And tick up. Do you know what? I'm not forced to Vial in anything. Maybe I just tick up the Vial to 3. Harbinger is just a little bit offline for a turn. But Trickster is online. Okay, I'll take it out. Or I Vial in Trickster, target Ravager, play Harbinger, bounce it. Nah. Just take everything out. I don't think our opponent is in any position of beating us in the next 2 turns. Got another Harbinger. Actually, because we have another Harbinger, maybe just play it. Use our mana. Again, I don't think anything bad can happen to us. We at least eat up 1 artifact, because they sacked an opal to this thing. So here we're going to see the Galvanic Blast. Yep. To our face! Okay. So 2 more cards in hand, probably 2 more Galvanic Blasts. Or they're going to be all in on the Ornithopter, because they don't know that we have a second one. I love how Harbinger keeps targeting even though it's in the graveyard. And that is it for our turn. Pass. The next turn we'll have both Trickster and Harbinger and Master of Waves up, and there's not a damn way that they're going to win through that. Take 3. Yeah, cranial plating, that's fine. Doesn't do anything. Well, I guess I should have played the Master of the Pearl Trident. So in this case, maybe I'm just going to Merfolk Trickster this thing, so I get as much devotion on the board as possible. Or maybe it just didn't matter. I just have so much stuff here. I just have everything. I have everything, people. You lost all your abilities, Ornithopter. Not that you really had many in the first place. Do you hear the sound of waves? Can robots hear anything? Do you feel the vibration? Some tectonic movement as the result of a big tide? Because the Master has arrived. Awesome. All right, so we're 1-0 against Affinity. Trickster obviously was a bomb. The only thing, well, okay, so here's the problem. We have Master of Waves in our deck. Master of Waves actually might be worth so much more in this matchup if we can live to turn 4 and 5. If Merfolk Trickster and Harbinger of the Tides combined can help us get there, then that's fine. Spell Pierce is just terrible. I can see it having some playability on the play, but overall it's garbage. Because on the play you could play like an island and then spell pierce any artifact that they play, and that would be fine. We're gonna bring in 3 Echoing Truth and probably 2 Tidebinder Mage, and I'll take out 1 Master of Waves. We'll see how Master of Waves works with the Tricksters. Because Master of Waves is a bomb no matter what against any deck. The thing is trying to survive to the turn that you can play it, and we might be able to do that against Affinity now. That might be our MO. Kira is also good. I'm going to play without Kira. You're a bit clunky. Kira, you're good when everything else is absolute trash. Well, this hand sucks. This hand's a bit disappointing. You know, this is the sort of hand like I really want to keep, but you know, it has to be a mulligan. Because you know, I have like sort of something, but not really. Okay, we can keep this. I think I'm gonna put this on the bottom. I think I'm just gonna want more power or more direct interaction. Spring Seas on the draw is not fantastic. There's Vault Scourge, something we can just outright kill. Dismember. Oh, too bad we didn't have Spell Pierce. No lifelink for you. There's another Spreading Seas. Show Lord of Atlantis. Things looking pretty bad this game, but maybe we can race. It's possible. It's possible we can race. What they're going to attack for 4 next turn? That's not a lot. They don't have red mana for Whip Flare, so that's good too. We're going to attack like it's no one's business. If they block, I don't care. That's fine. I think we can win in the long run. So the plan is just play Spreading Seas and a Lord next turn, and then hopefully that's enough to win. And we might win that race. They're only going to attack for 5 here. Then next turn they can attack for more. It might be close. Ooh. Ooh! Okay, hold the presses, everyone. Hold the presses. Because I think they're about to get completely blown out by Echoing Truth. They might feel something is up here, but like there's nothing they can do about it. So we're just gonna let our opponent tap out for whatever they want to do. I thought we were in trouble, but maybe not. Maybe we're not. So here's the good thing. If they want to replay 1 Cranial Plating, then they need to tap out, and that means Galvanic Blast is offline. And cancel. I want to make sure I'm touching this Echoing Truth, because it's targeting the Ornithopter. Okay, I think I'm targeting Cranial Plating. Looks like it. Yeah, good. Would you like to blow up your own Cranial Plating somehow, sir? Okay, so you're going to Galvanic Blast that thing. You can't block. I mean, I have 8 power in play as it is. So we're going to hit for 1. just going to attack for 8. Show me that you have something. 'Cause I don't think you do. And we do it. We beat Affinity. Wow, Merfolk Trickster? Maybe maybe this isn't a bad matchup anymore. Maybe it's not a bad matchup. So, Spell Pierce, great. Merfolk Trickster, great, just awesome. We're gonna love our Merfolk Tricksters. We gotta get your Merfolk Tricksters, people. You get those foils. Those are gonna be great foils. I saw the foils out of Dominaria. They look beautiful. Let's take a look at that deck list one more time. We went a nice clean 5-0. Can't say our opponents were the best. Maybe things just ran very well in our manner. But certainly, it did. The deck performed very, very well. I've been playing quite a bit without Curse Catcher, and the deck feels very playable without it. There's just so many targets for Spell Pierce these days. And if you look at all the matchups, you're citing out you're citing out Curse Catcher a lot. I'll admit that it's fine against Hollowed One, and definitely Curse Catcher is better than nothing, and Spell Pierce is nothing in the humans matchup. But in the overall spectrum of Modern, I'm really liking Spell Pierce. But we definitely saw the power of Merfolk Trickster in all the matchups. It was very, very good. This is definitely a 4 of. It was very strong. I wouldn't want to take out Harbinger. We saw that they combined pretty well together. A lot of creature interaction, worked very, very well. With Mare Rejury, we were able to tap 2 things down, put the Counters Company opponent to a decision for their life where they had to block with their best creatures. We slowed the humans deck down a whole turn by tapping their Noble Hierarch. It was a fantastic card. This is a fantastic addition to our deck. It makes up for everything that we saw in Ixalan, and it's blue. It is blue! Thank you, Wizards! We have a blue card. So, yeah, that's my first league with Merfolk Trickster. Worked out as good as I could possibly want. As usual, like, share, comment, and subscribe. I'm going to thank all my patrons supporting me on Patreon. This has been Nikachu with his first trial list of Merfolk Trickster in Modern.